Well, hello and good afternoon. Working together to save our families as well as our communities. And of course, we are changing our way of life. I'm Tonya Rivens, and this is Canceling COVID. Thank you so much for hopping on and joining us on this Friday. I want to say thank you to our sponsors, Mecklenburg County Public Health. They're a great resource in the community. I can't say this enough because at some point you may have questions. Get it from the experts. Just reach out to them, metcountync.gov. That's metcountync.gov. They are available to answer any questions you may have, or you can even give them a call at 980-314-9400. Also, Groundwater Solutions, Dr. Tricia Black and their crew, they do an amazing job over there. It's groundwater-solutions.org. As we are continuing to bring attention to what's happening, we're going to start with a really big update, and this is huge. It's your shot at $1 million. What? If you play the lottery, this is an amazing opportunity. If you're going to play anyway, you may as well. You know what they say? Might as well. $1 million cash prizes right here in North Carolina. There is an opportunity rather for $1 million cash drawings to encourage people to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, we mentioned it previously. Our producer always on top of things. And the first drawing is on June 23rd. You must be vaccinated 18 and older, and 12 to 17-year-olds can win $125,000 for their college tuition. So that's some really great stuff and a great opportunity. And as you see, starting to get creative to try to get more people to get their vaccines. Now, there'll be one every week until August 4th. All adults who are vaccinated will be automatically entered. So, see, I didn't know that. I thought that once you went in to get vaccinated, you would be entered. So, $1 million, that's a whole lot. And again, for kids between 12 and 17, an opportunity to at least have your name entered for college tuition. You have to have at least have gotten one shot to be entered into the four drawings. And again, it pays $125,000 in college tuition. And if you have children, you know college tuition is it comes with a heavy price. So that brings us to our question of the day. What do you think about North Carolina's new vaccine push? What do you have to say about this? And it doesn't have anything to do with whether you believe in the lottery or not, or maybe it does. But do you think this is the proper way to go about it? The new vaccine push, again, on trying to get more and more people vaccinated. That's our question of the day. I love to see you weigh in. I see you hopping on. I'm so grateful for you hopping on every week. But tell us, what do you think about this? And we know, after all, they had to get creative because we're kind of at a standstill, and that's not really working towards the plan that President Biden has laid out. So let's put this in perspective for North Carolina. Of course, his plan is to have a number by or percentage by July 4th, if you remember that speech. But in perspective for North Carolina, we are behind the national pace for COVID vaccines. We are at 54% in North Carolina that has received at least one dose, compared to nearly 64% nationwide. So we've got 10 percentage points between the national average and what we have in the state. That means there are about 2.5 million unvaccinated adults in the state. And that's something to really think about, especially when you're headed out to the grocery stores and all these different events now. A lot of people are not wearing their masks. So it kind of makes you stop and ponder and just wonder. So, that's just great information to have along and to think about when you're out and about. You might just want to keep your mask on for now because we talked about it on Wednesday. There's another strain headed this way. It's called the Delta, and they had it in India. And that's not anything that any of us are looking forward to. But let's go ahead and bring in our first guest today. I must tell you, this lady brings so much joy. She's got a laughter that's contagious. She's always positive, always upbeat. And she's with Black Voters Matter. Her name is Danielle. And of course, Danielle she's got a longtime friend now with me, Danielle Brown. And look, I told Danielle that when I first met her. So there's a growing push right now to not only save Black families from COVID, but to protect their finances at the same time. So, Danielle, first of all, you are the senior state coordinator for Black Voters Matter. And good afternoon, sis. Thank you for taking the time to join us.
Hi, good to see you. I'm so excited.
I'm always excited to talk to you as well. I'm so grateful for the connection with you because you guys are out here putting the work in, and a lot of people hear about Black Voters Matter, and we're going to jump into the questions. But I just want them to know that you guys are about empowerment for our community, informing our community, and obviously making our community aware of the power that we have that we haven't been maximizing. So let's
Mhm.
start with during the government shutdown. You all were a voice for the frontline workers who were being impacted primarily Black and brown people. What was the purpose of the COVID-19 petition? Kind of talk about that a little bit.
So the whole purpose was to bring awareness to the fact that most of the folks that were still going to work every day were the Black and brown community. That was the ones who were keeping it moving, keeping us rolling, keeping it happening. And they were basically not having what they needed to be able to be taken care of. They did not have PPEs. A lot of them did not know what it was going to be, how it was going to look from day to day. But at the same time, these folks go home every single day. They're going home to their families. They're going home to their kids. They're going home to grandkids. They're taking care of people. These folks are going home every day. So they're not only exposing themselves, but they're also exposing their families as well. And this is what they had to do. It wasn't an option. It wasn't like, oh, well, I got money sitting over here. I'm going to do this. No, this
Right.
is what they had to do to ensure that they were taken care of. We were learning about students that were being as young as 16 and 17 years old that were, part-time jobs that were actually moved to full-time jobs because ultimately they were still helping to take care of their families. They were contributing, literally, they were the contributors to their families because their parents were either laid off or something of that nature, and they were the ones bringing the money in. So we had to figure out ways to protect them and to protect the folks that were going to work and keeping us as a society just moving every single day. So that was our mission, that was our work, and that was how we were able to just even dive right into our day-to-day communities and the people that we stand up for every day.
And I'm so grateful you guys are voice for the voiceless. I want to also acknowledge some of the guys that have hopped on. Frederick Love, good afternoon. Belinda Lowry, good afternoon. And Erica Simonton Beatty, good afternoon. I missed you guys. We've had some great topics. And of course, we've been moving along. But thank you all so much for hopping on and hop in our chat and answer the question about North Carolina's plan now to get more people vaccinated, the $1 million lottery opportunity or the college fund for your students. Do you think that's a good idea or not? I want to move on with you, Miss Brown. And the petition was a focus. Since the petition, is it still a focus rather? Or have you shifted some as more states are reopening? So have you had to really still petition this COVID-19 petition, or have we kind of moved beyond that for now?
So we're still in the thick of the fight because what's happened is there has been an allocation of funding and things and resources that quote unquote are supposed to be in the Black community. But for those of us who live there, we know that it's not, especially the rural community. So, we've done a really great job at just calling it for what it is. It's not here.
Yeah.
So we've really dug into working with other local individuals, working with churches, working with other partnerships and organizations and saying, hey, look, do you want to host a vaccination clinic in your community? Like, we're not saying go down the street. We're saying, no, come across the street in your community to ensure that this information is getting to you. So we didn't shy away from any of the resources because either way it goes, we are still wearing masks. We're still passing them out on a day-to-day basis. I'm still getting 1,000 probably in the mail today. So we're passing those out. We're still ensuring that people have hand sanitizer. We're still ensuring that people are taken care of on a local basis because there's a lot of folks that that haven't received any information, resources, or anything to this moment. Like, we're talking about rural areas that still have not seen any type of PPE from the state. They've seen it from us, but not from the state. So when we're talking about that, we're talking about, hey, how do we continuously get those items where they need to go to keep people safe? Even though we're opening back up, what does that truly look like? We're talking about the summer right now, but we're getting ready. We need to be talking about school. How are we opening back up safely for school? How are we
getting
opening
ready
back
for
up?
the fall because
Yeah.
it'll be here
How are we?
before you know it. And instead of waiting and having a reaction, let's be proactive. And Danielle, I've been doing this show since January, and anybody that hops on, they will tell you I've been so frustrated. And not to bash anyone, but Mecklenburg County Public Health, kudos, thank you for believing in what we are doing, which is educating our community. But on the state level, everything is falling on deaf ears. I mean, totally saying they want to get to our community, they want to talk to our community, but I always say the video doesn't match the audio because you can talk the talk, but until we're able to see it, then and it's not working right now, folks. It's not happening. And so again, for anyone that has connections or relationships, you might just want to share with them. At what point do you decide to go to the grassroots level and start dealing with some organizations that are just doing it for the passion of saving our community? So There's a gentleman, Elisa Minka, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but good afternoon. Thanks for hopping on. And hey, guys, give feedback on our question of the day. How do you feel about this plan that North Carolina is using to try and increase our vaccination rate, where we are 10 percentage points behind the state level right now? Now, protection, Daniel, back to you, from COVID boils down to awareness. Now, what are you guys doing to educate the community about vaccinations and precautions? You mentioned you guys are out in the community, so what are you doing?
So we are one acknowledging our historical reservations to all of this. Let's be real about it. That we have folks that don't acknowledge that. So acknowledging historically, we as a Black community, we got questions. We need those answered. And then the other thing is ensuring that we treat this like we treat when we talk about voting. We talk about it in a nonpartisan way. We want to be able to present all of the aspects to you, and you make that decision for yourself. We're not saying go do it. We're not saying don't go do it. But we
Yeah.
are saying be protected in what you're going to do and make sure you have all the information and education. So we're bringing that accordingly. We're working with our local organizations and our partners and saying, this is, what better folks to work with, because those are the trusted folks in the community. It's not me. It's the folks that we're partnered with that know the people there and that are trusted with them. So we're giving them that information and saying, y'all take it, add some slap your mama and some seasoning salt on it, whatever y'all need to be able to go out here and talk to the community and make sure that they have an understanding of what this truly means, so that they can make their own decisions based off of what they have received.
So then you'll talk about Black Voters Matter for a bit, because when I was introduced to you and I was like, Black Voters Matter, I automatically thought about Stacey Abrams and all the work that she did in Georgia. And I think when people think about that, because too many times we think about just election season, not realizing that it's important to be aware and involved leading up to that. And you already touched on it a little bit. Black Voters Matter is not just about voting. You guys are hosting these vaccination clinics. You're providing community support. We partnered for one coming up on June 27th in Smithfield. They'll hear more about that. And you've just been great to work with as far as, excuse me, connecting with people in the community that, are like minded.
So yeah, we're a 365 organization. It's important that, ultimately we need people alive to go vote. It's that simple. Like, if you ain't alive, then I mean, I don't know what to say. But ultimately we need you to be alive to go vote. So we have to take care of the person. We're talking about Black Voters Matter. You don't have Black votes unless you have Black voters. And we're the ones that you come knocking on our door for when you're at that desperate moment, because we can pull you across the line. So we are truly, truly invested into our communities. We're talking to them just beyond what's just that voting aspect. We have to have a relationship that even leads up to a trusted vote. What does that trusted vote mean? What does that accountability mean on the other side of it? So we're there 24/7, 365. Y'all don't let me get any sleep, but it's okay. I love it. It's
Yeah,
great.
work hard. You do. You work hard, doing a lot. And then we got all these Juneteenth events coming up. And of course, and you're part of those. I just love it. I mean, you and Nakia, y'all do a great job. But what's the overall goal for Black Voters Matter? Kind of share, what your goals are and what's the end game.
So our goals is to be in the community. Oh, well, here in North Carolina, we have a 25 county plan. Ultimately, by 2024, we want a Black North Carolina out. We want Black folks just voting, and then we want you calling and saying, "Where is my precinct?" versus "What am I supposed to do?" We want you to be. We want you to have all the information that you possibly need to be able to go out here and cast your vote. We're digging deep into our municipal elections. We're digging deep into our state and our federal elections as well. But ultimately, we're digging deep into the community that matters and what's going on and what's happening on a day-to-day basis. Because again, we need folks to be alive. We need folks to be healthy, taken care of. We need resources. We need to ensure that our communities we're hearing them and that they know that they matter to the process on a 365 basis, and not just when it's time to go vote.
So I see you guys are hopping on, and a good afternoon to all of you. But please jump in the chat and share your response to the question of the day. I think it's big news, kind of out of the box thinking for the state. I can remember when they just didn't even want the lottery, and now you're vaccinated. You've got an opportunity, a shot at $1 million, not just once, but 4 times. And then college tuition, $125,000. That's a big shot in the arm for anyone, no pun intended, but shoot, that's some money right there. You talking real talk, which is what we pride ourselves on. But Danielle, kind of tell us how some of these COVID vaccination clinics that you guys have held around the state, what can people expect when they show up for these?
So you can expect the same thing that we do when we're partying at the polls. You can expect some music, you can expect some food, you can expect tons of resources when it comes to vaccinations. You can expect some Black Voters Matter swag. You can expect a whole lot of just fun and how we do things as Black people when we come out, our culture, what we bring to the table to ensure that people are coming out of their houses. And you can also expect us being safe because we're gonna be masked up. And we're going to be making sure that people understand that, hey, 6 feet is still in charge right now. We still want to make sure that people are safe in all of this, but comfortable, and also not just comfortable but educated. When you leave, we want you to leave with a plate, and we want you to be educated and have all the information that you need so you can tell somebody else, and or think about what type of decision you want to make when it comes to your own personal health.
So we're gonna have some dancing and some food. What makes most importantly, you're gonna have information that's gonna empower and educate you, and your job is to go and share that. And then, so I'll go ahead, the shameless plug on the 27th of June. We've got one in Smithville. Salute Smithville off of exit 28, and please share. You'll hear more about it. Come out and join us. It's a partnership with Black Voters Matter and Union Bethel AME Zion Church, as well as the town of Cornelius. It's going to be right there at Smithville Park, and we've been excited and grateful for the opportunity. Here's someone making a comment. Mr. Minka says, "Thanks for your great efforts, Danielle and Tonya. We are stronger because of you." And that's very kind to him. And Lord knows Danielle's been working really hard, 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 hard. Let's talk about the Freedom Ride to DC coming up. You know, if nobody knows their history, you better do some research and know about this, because the Freedom Ride, the Freedom Riders, that is just so much a big part of who we are. And so the Freedom Ride is going to kick off. So can you talk about that a little bit and make people maybe even stop and think and, just go back and maybe review how far we've come,
Absolutely. We've come a long way, but we got a long way to go.
Yeah.
And when it's all said and done, the Freedom Riders, what stuck out to me when I first read all of this and was researching a lot of it was the fact that these folks were these young people. These were not older people. These were young people that were getting on this bus, and they were headed to the South to ensure that people were able to register to vote. That is what was the goal. And then they were met with a ton of opposition, and also not just met with the opposition, but these folks signed wills before they even left home.
Wow.
That was a lot to think about. It's like, wow, they were willing to really put it all on the line. And
Hmm.
to talk to some of them that are still alive is just such amazing to hear the stories. But these freedom rides we're taking from the South going back to the North. We're doing it reverse this time. And we're getting on the bus. The blackest bus in America is coming to North Carolina on the 23rd. It's going to stop in Raleigh, and we are going to have an amazing, amazing time. But we're also bringing a lot of awareness to what is happening in our General Assembly with the folks that we have elected in, that are not speaking to us as a community, and writing in these bills, these egregious bills that basically are made to disenfranchise each and every one of us, as we continue our movement here, and go to the polls later on. But we're putting a stop to it. We're going to say, hey, look, we're going to rally together, we're going to march together, and we're going to say no to what you guys are doing. If I have my way, I'm going to block you in, so you're really going to listen to me when it comes to traffic. So with all that being said, we just want everybody to be a part of it. Freedom Week is going to be amazing. We're going to have so many different things starting off on Juneteenth here in North Carolina, but the official stop for the Blackest Bus in America and the Freedom Rides is going to be on the 23rd. So we're definitely excited about all of that.
Now, Danielle, you mentioned Raleigh. You guys making a stop in Charlotte as well, correct?
Oh yeah, we are picking up one of our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful young men, Dante Sharp, who was wrongfully convicted. His pardon has been on the governor's desk for over a year now, and we're working to ensure that he gets his pardon. Hey, you wrongfully convicted me, and now I need my pardon.
Yeah.
So we are sitting there and we're working on that. So he is going to be in Charlotte, and we are going to be swooping him up on our way to Raleigh. So anybody that wants to be on the caravan and follow us behind the Blackest Bus in America and behind Dante, and ensure that your voice is heard on our quote unquote Capitol Hill of North Carolina. Come right on. We are going to be stopping and rolling and keeping it headed to Raleigh, North Carolina.
And so I appreciate all that you all are doing. I'm grateful, as a matter of fact, so grateful for Black Voters Matter and the work that you're doing. You've done so much work, not just around just going out. And a lot of times people get involved in politics, and you guys have a holistic approach and getting involved around COVID, these vaccination clinics, empowering, educating. and just providing for our community is, again, what I say, a voice for the voiceless, and especially in some of the rural areas where they still haven't gotten the information and assistance that they need. So as we wrap things up, Miss Danielle, is there anything else you would like to share? Of course, we got the website that we've been putting up and the contact information, but I know you welcome volunteers, you welcome support, and of course, you can see they're putting the work in. It's blackvotersmatterfund.org is the website. So anything that you would like to share as you wrap things up?
Just that we are here. We're excited. We're excited about the work that we're doing across the state. Our partners are amazing. We, of course, Miss Tonya is always amazing.
Uh,
So we're definitely excited about everything. Y'all, come on, get on the freedom ride, get on that freedom train, and free me, because right now I'm not feeling too free with all this planning we're doing. So
But you know what, Danielle? I really wish some of these camps would schedule some of the students. Are they able to ride, like get on the bus or anything like that?
so we're still
Maybe it's a
practicing
liability.
code. We're still practicing COVID safety. So,
Okay.
but there are ways that people can join in. So, we've got some great state partners that have offered up some vans and buses and things of that nature.
Hmm.
So, with limited seating. So, if folks are interested in that, please let us know. We'll figure out a way to get you on that so that you can ride on up to Raleigh with us.
All right, good stuff. Danielle Brown, and of course, she is here in North Carolina. Shout out to Nakia again. They work so well together and work with everybody. I appreciate you so much. The website, one more time, is blackvotersmatterfund.org, correct?
Yes.
All right, good stuff. Thank you for talking with me, Danielle. I appreciate you. All right, you can see I told you her laugh is contagious. She's just a beautiful sister that works really, really hard. And so what we're doing together is a COVID vaccination clinic as well, June 27th. That's on a Sunday. Come out after you get out from church or whatever you do on Sunday. Come and grab a bite to eat. It's free food. We're gonna dance. We're gonna have information. You'll have a chance to get vaccinated for COVID. And if you're not planning on getting vaccinated, you can get the information. It's a great opportunity. So we're looking forward to that. Shout out to Reverend Kennedy, Union Bethel, Amy Zion as well for being a part of this. Travis hopped on and said, this is a great incentive, talking about what the North Carolina is offering. I think it's a great incentive too. I appreciate you sharing that thought. I mean, a shot at $1 million, that's pretty incredible, especially if you're someone that normally don't play the lottery. What do you really have to lose? And they're doing it 4 times. Also, Erica Somerton Beatty says, it's good to hear that incentives are being offered for the vaccination. I do hope that it will be a benefit to all in the long run. I hope that everyone is staying safe. I hope all are staying safe. And she's absolutely right. And I appreciate the fact that North Carolina realizes that there's more to that's needed, and I think that's what I really appreciate. Now, I have to ask you the question of the day again. What do you think of North Carolina's new vaccine push? Again, you have a shot at $1 million, $1 million drawings, and $125,000 for college tuition. That's a really great opportunity for everyone. I didn't get a chance to ask Danielle. I have to ask her again. I'll get her back on radio, especially. But happening today, the FDA will debate how urgent it is to vaccinate children younger than 12 for COVID-19. And that's been interesting to see the response to that. I saw 2 doctors who had their children vaccinated. And obviously, there's still some apprehension amongst parents, and already 12 to 17, and now you're talking under the age of 12. Meantime, next Friday, the CDC will have an emergency meeting on COVID-19 vaccines and rare heart inflammation. There are reports of 226 people developing myocarditis or pericarditis after the second dose of the Moderna or Pfizer vaccine. Playing around with my tongue here, the Moderna or Pfizer vaccine. Now, most of the cases were young men and teenage boys who recovered without issue, but yet you still need to know. And there's still $11 million in rent and utility assistance for Charlotte residents that hasn't been used yet. And we've reached out to get someone on to talk about that as well. Guys, that money is out there. No one should have to go without if there's funds available. Rent and utility help, you have up until Tuesday to submit. Rampclt.shop rampclt.com. That's it. Rampclt.com for rent and utility help. So if you know someone, just pass the word along, or do me a favor and post it on your social media so that people are informed. We have some great information here, and I must confess, we just don't have the manpower to keep pushing the information out like we need to, but we certainly try. You have until Tuesday to submit an application with Ramp CLT the local rent, utility, and mortgage assistance program, and they've got millions of dollars, and they'll accept July applications starting on the 1st of July. So the federal eviction moratorium, it expires on June 30th, and we're in the month of June, folks. As a matter of fact, next week is June 15th, so we'll be midway there. So don't put it off. This is something that's very valuable, very useful, and very helpful for people that are in need. And sometimes people just don't have access. I mean, let's face it, we're going through a lot right now, and people are trying to survive. They're doing what they can to keep their, their family fed, to keep gas in the tank, to keep their home. And so when this information is put out there, do us a favor, share this broadcast, and maybe just put a little note in there if you're looking for some type of rent and utility assistance, because you can't function without water and power. And I don't think a lot of people are using gas right now since it's so hot as we're out and about. But certainly, it's about serving others and helping others out. I appreciate you all hopping on and sharing your thoughts and commenting. It's great to see so many of you back today. I greatly appreciate that as well. I also want to share this. Fonda Bryant, who's been really, really working hard, and she's been on from time to time because mental health. I had a conversation yesterday with someone about, I might need to invest in mental health stock because that is the future. Therapy and conversation and just having someone to listen to you. Well, Fonda's still working. She is the remarkable woman that was honored by Nexstar, and she's got a suicide prevention training. It's happening on tomorrow, and it's from 1 until 3 p.m. And there's no registration. Just show up on time and take the training. So, she is really, really committed to this. Fonda is not getting paid for this. This is her passion. This is her love. And she is consistent. So she reached out, asked that I share it. Again, Fonda Bryant, suicide prevention training. It's tomorrow at 1 p.m. And it's showing you how to identify people that are potentially a victim of suicide. And we should never lose a life senselessly. And when it comes to suicide, I can't think of anything else but it's a senseless way of taking your life, because there's always hope. And we are here to try to encourage others. So tomorrow, suicide prevention training. I know I'm repeating myself, but this is so important at 1 p.m. Fonda Bryant. I'll post it on my social media as well. All right. One last thing before I wrap things up is on Sunday. I've been sharing with you. I've got Chief John Jennings. He's going to be on with me at 7:30. If nothing else, tune in and let the chief know that you care, that you're interested, that you appreciate the work that he's doing, or if you have some questions. So that Sunday morning, Sounds of Inspiration at 7:30, 103.3, 100.5, Chief John Jennings, CMPD Chief, is going to join me. And I've gotten a couple questions from last week. I love for you. Don't be one of those people talking about them and what they should do and don't do and how you feel about law enforcement. But when you have an opportunity to address it, you just don't do that. Well, you could be one of those people, but if you're not going to try to address the problem, I'm not so sure why you would continue to just talk about it. And we're also got a town hall coming up in July with CMPD. That's with a committee that I serve on. I'll tell you more about that as we get closer as well. It's a part of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Community Relations Committee. Yeah, I keep pretty busy. So that's a great opportunity on Sunday, which is also join me this Sunday, 7 a.m., Sounds of Inspiration. Chief Jennings on at 7:30 a.m. So hopefully you'll tune in for that. As always, life's challenges make you better, not bitter. I want to say happy anniversary to my husband. Yep. 5 years today, folks. That's right. Doug Rashid. We got married, and I'm so grateful. We're looking forever as far as how many more, if you have that question. So yes, today is our anniversary, and I'm grateful for him as well. Have a great day, everyone. Be safe. Stay dry. We've got hot weather, but thunderstorms, but make the best of all that you do. Thanks for tuning in, and keep in mind, together, we will cancel COVID. Thank you for supporting us. And again, thank you to Mecklenburg County Public Health and Groundwater Solutions. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.